Welcome back to the Sound for More channel. Today I have the pleasure to introduce you to Session Player and Chord track. Before I continue, I would like to remind my viewers to subscribe, unless you have already done so, as it helps with growing the channel. Thank you very much. So we are inside Logic Pro for iPad on an iPad Pro M1, and we have installed the latest version 2, which has recently been released. So we're going to click on Create Project, and then we are going to click on Tracks. And what you will find is here a session player, and you have a selection here between drummer and now bass player and also keyboard player. I'm going to select keyboard player, and we are going to have an introduction on how the session player works for keyboard. Some of the concept for bass and drummer would be very much the same, but the purpose of this tutorial is to introduce you to the session player and also the chord track. So we click outside here, and as you can see, there is a new track which has been created, and we have a keyboard player. You can see here we have a region. That's not a MIDI region. If you click on it and click again, you will find that it says keyboard player freely, and indeed if you go at the very bottom it says convert, so you can convert it to a MIDI region if you like, or also a pattern region. You can also see that we have a studio grand piano as well as an instrument. Something worth to mention is that with the addition of these session players, you need more space on your iPad. Indeed, if you go to the sound library and you go to manage packs, and you'll find, scrolling down, then you have this section now. Here we go, session player, instruments and loops. As you can see, I already started downloading the studio piano, which was 3.5 gigabyte, but if you want the full basis, it's almost 6 gigabyte. The electronic drums 158, but then the acoustic drum another 3 gigabyte. Keep that in mind, as it is requiring a lot more space, as you can see, and space come to a premium, of course, on iPad. So let's minimize this window or exit the editor, okay? Because indeed it's not a piano roll editor. If you click here to edit, you go inside this view, which will have opportunity to go into more details in some of the upcoming tutorials. Okay, indeed, if you click again, you can go to edit, and then you can say show in editor, and again you go back to the same view. Okay, now you can see at the top now it says chord here. Okay, and then you see a chord progression there. If that is not visible, it is because here under the global track it was not selected. So if you click on that, you can have the global tracks, of which now you have chord as well, which is a new one. Of course, you can still go to marker, time signature, key signature, tempo, but the new one is chords, which we are going to have a look at today, or at least start. You can see it shows a chord progression, and the importance of this chord progression from the chord track is that different session players then can follow their own chord progression and in their defined region, or can follow the chord progression from the global chord track, which is up here. Okay, so in this case, if you click on the editor, here you have a view, which is for the keyboard player view for the chord progression. You can see there are no chords at the moment there. That means it's following the global chord progression. Indeed, if you click again here, and then if you go to chords here, then you can say follow the global chord track, which is what it is doing at the moment, or you can say follow the region chords. And if you do that, you can see now that in this view you have the chords here, which you can change, but also on the session player region here you have the chords as well there. Okay, I talked a lot, so let's listen first of all to what it has created. Okay, it is after all a region. So if you click on it again, you can go to cycle and say selection. In that case, you will start to look for that selected region. Now, if you want to convert it to a MIDI because you want to see notes, of course, you can go ahead, click after you selected it, select converted and then MIDI region. As you can see now, if we go to the editor, you see the notes on a piano roll. Okay, so that has been converted. You can undo, of course, okay, and you can see you go back to have that that view. I would say also, I just wanted to show you, if you convert it to a MIDI region and then you go back to convert, you can see you can convert it to session player region, and it works. So let me show you. Okay, so that should be straightforward. Now let's keep working with this track following the region progression. As you can see, chord at the moment it says follow region chords. The other thing that you will notice here is that as soon as you have that enabled, you have access to a lot of other options. And I will try to go through as many as I can for this introductory video. Now let's go to this chord view, and there you are. Now let's say that I want to change something here. I position the head here in the middle of this A minor chord, okay? And then I can go in add mode here and click here, and it will add the SC chord, as you can see. And it opens this view where you can actually edit the chord. So we are on A minor, so let's insert another chord. For example, it says chord, let's say we want A there, minor, and S minor, 7, okay? So now, as you can see, you have A minor for this part and A minor 7 there. Now, if I click play, it will follow the additional chord which I added. Okay, and let's now go here to the end and do something similar, but this time, you can see you can drag and drop to extend the region for the particular chord. But this time, what we are going to say is we are going to say we want to have a G chord, major, okay? And as a bass note, we want B. Okay, so let's play from probably somewhere here. So you can hear that again is following this G major chord with a B bass or first inversion, really. So it's quite clever, okay? So now let's go back to this standard view and let's close the editor. Now let's say, let me show you why it is great to have the chord track. Let's say that I want to add another track and we choose another session player and we choose the bass player, okay? So you will notice now there is this new track, okay? Now you notice that the track itself here doesn't seem to be respecting this change of chord, right, from A minor to G major first inversion, and that's because this region, if you click on it and select chord, is following the global chord track. And if you look at the global chord track, that has not changed, it's still the default one. So if you play now together, when it gets around here, you will have this problem that the grand piano is playing these two chords while the bass is playing this A minor chord for this bar. Okay, so. So it doesn't sound right. Now you have two options. You can actually get this session player for the bass to follow the region chord and then add that G major first inversion. Or what you can do is goes to this region, okay, click on it again, go to chords and say paste the region chord to the global track, and you can see it has added this chord here and also this A minor 7 here. And now because it is on the global one, okay, then what will happen is that this session player for the bass will follow appropriately these additional two chords that I added, the A minor 7 and the G first inversion. And you can see straight away as well, if you look at the region, you can see that the bass note is moving up from an A to a B, which means it's following this chord appropriately, which is great. Now, you can also make changes on the global track. Of course, you can go to a particular one like so. You can change, for example, the chord progression, which is absolutely a great feature to have. So you can say change to this chord progression, and you can see that the chord progression is changed, is duplicated, of course, 4 chords and then repeated. And both the session player for the piano and the bass have changed appropriately, and now will follow the new chord progression. So, and that's the beauty of having a chord track up there as a global track and having session players. Of course, you can add, for example, as you would expect, a drummer as a session player. Okay, and there it is. And let's close the editor. And now we have something a little bit more complete as a soundtrack, of course, with perhaps not the melody or vocals. And that absolutely sounds great. I should have said at the beginning that the region, of course, behaves as any other region. If you have trim enabled, of course, you can trim it like so. Or if you go to the loop, for example, you can decide to loop it like so for as many times as you like, similar to what you would do on the desktop version, right? So the other thing as well, let's go back to a trim option. Here we go. You have option here on the global track to create some groups and ungroup them, which I will explain as that works in another tutorial. But what you can do also, you can half the chord rhythm or double it. So let me show you if I half it. You can see it has become only 4 chords. And of course, I can go and double it as well, okay? Now you have a plus here, you click on it and it will add a chord, as you can see there. And let's say that we want as a bass a G there, right? And there it is. Perhaps we extended it like so. And now let's click play. At any moment in time, of course, you can go inside an editor, and if you don't like what you heard, click here to regenerate. The reason here that abrupt change is because it's too short, of course. But again, there are ways to mitigate that. Now, in terms of additional option, let's get again this track to follow. Click on it and select chords. And let's say we want to follow the region chords again. Click on it again. Go to chords. You can see here you have a lot of different options. So you can change still the chord progression as you could have changed it at global chord track level. You can paste chords from the global track into this one. Vice versa, you can cut the region, copy the region, alpha it or double it. You can follow both region, the region one on the track or the global one. And what you can also do, apart from, of course, deleting the region, you can also analyze the key. And that is quite interesting because the key might change if after you have added more chords, of course. Okay, so you have some additional views here. You have automation, which I will show you in a dedicated tutorial for the session player. You have that chord view as well, where you can move, add, you can snap, etc. You can do a lot of other things. And at the beginning here, you have also preset, which you can choose as well. So let's listen to some of them. And of course, you can save some of them as well. Okay, so let's get these to actually follow now the global track like so. And let's change some of the preset again. And so on and so forth. You can change as many presets. You can create your own here on the session player and saves them as well. Additionally, you have different view here. This is the main view. You have a detailed views where you have further settings, and a manual view where you can also define your own patterns, which again I will explain. And here you have some additional option for locking the settings as you move between presets. Of course, here you have some standard default loading, recalling of patches, etc., etc. And of course, the typical controls here to maximize or minimize the view. If you click here, of course, you can change the session player. You can go, for example, a songwriter of pad, which is interesting. Okay, and then click play. Okay, I hope you enjoyed the introductory tutorial to session players and also the global track chord. And of course, I'm going to record additional tutorials shortly dedicated to each of the session player, the keyboard, the bass, and the drummer. Thank you very much.